The great assembly hall of the Galactic Council had never seen such tension. Representatives from over 300 species filled the crystalline amphitheater, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of clicks, chirps, electromagnetic pulses, and harmonic frequencies that the universal translators struggled to process. At the podium, High Counselor Vexthana, an ancient Etherian whose translucent form had witnessed the rise and fall of 17 civilizations, called for order with a resonant psychic pulse that silenced the crowd. "We are gathered today," her voice echoed through quantum resonance, "to address the tearing question." A collective shiver ran through the assembly. The humans had been members of the Galactic Council for only 3 standard years, yet their name already carried weight that made veteran species uneasy. "The Korthian Empire has requested this emergency session," Vexthana continued. "Ambassador Grexlock, please present your concerns." The massive Korthian representative, standing 3 meters tall with natural armor plating and 4 arms ending in razor-sharp claws, approached the speaking platform. His species had conquered half the galaxy through pure military might, subjugating dozens of weaker civilizations. Yet today, his voice trembled. "Honored Council," Grexlock began, his translation device struggling with his panic chittering. "The humans must be contained. 3 days ago, they responded to our diplomatic overture to their colony world of New Austin." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Korthian diplomatic overtures were legendary, massive battle fleets demanding immediate surrender or complete annihilation. "We approach with our 7th Conquest Fleet," Grexlock continued, his armored plates rattling with anxiety. 500 warships, including our flagship dreadnought Inevitable Doom. Standard protocol: demand submission, demonstrate superior firepower, accept surrender." High Counselor Vexthana's form flickered with curiosity. "And the human response?" They laughed at us." Grexlock's voice cracked. "Then they invited us for barbecue." The assembly erupted in confused chatter. Ambassador Scylla of the Vorthak hegemony raised her serpentine head. "Surely you mean they surrendered?" "No," Grexlock whispered. "They actually invited us to a barbecue. Said they had plenty of beer and wanted to show us their Texas hospitality." "What happened next?" Vexthana asked, though her ancient mind already suspected the answer would be disturbing. We went to the barbecue." The assembly fell silent. A member of the galaxy's most feared warrior species had been invited to a social gathering by the people they were trying to conquer. "The humans," Grexlock continued, his voice growing stronger but more confused. "They fed us something called brisket that had been cooking for 16 hours. They gave us beverages that made us happy. They showed us pictures of their families. They asked about our families." Ambassador Ithek of the Crystalline Consortium, a being of pure logic and mathematics, processed this information with visible difficulty. "Did they demonstrate any military capabilities?" "Oh, yes." Grexlock nodded vigorously. "They showed us their hunting rifles and explained how they used them to kill creatures they call deer for sport. Then they mentioned they also hunt things called bears and mountain lions with nothing but bow and arrows." The consortium representative's crystalline form flickered with mathematical equations. "Large predators? For recreation?" That's when we realized. Grexlock's voice dropped to a whisper. "We weren't dealing with a normal species. These humans live on a world where they actively hunt apex predators for fun. They've turned survival into entertainment." High Counselor Vexthana gestured for silence as the assembly erupted in panicked discussions. "Continue your report, Ambassador." "By the end of the evening," Grexlock said, "half my fleet had exchanged contact information with human colonists. My ship's captain was planning to bring his younglings to visit their rodeo next month. And somehow," he paused, struggling with the words, "somehow I had agreed to help them build a new playground for their children. The assembly stared in stunned silence. You see, Grexlock continued, his massive frame slumping with defeat. We came to conquer them, but they conquered us instead. Not with weapons or fear, but with kindness and barbecue sauce. They turned our invasion fleet into a neighborhood block party. Ambassador Throck of the militant horde, whose species had never been defeated in battle, stood shakily. Are you saying the humans have developed some form of psychic domination? Worse, Grexlock replied. They have something called Southern Charm, and they weaponized it. My warriors, beings who have crushed star systems, are now planning vacation visits to Earth. 3 of my commanders have started dating human colonists. High Counselor Vex then processed this information with growing alarm. And your current relationship with the new Austin colony? We're helping them expand their settlements in exchange for barbecue recipes and invitations to their harvest festivals. The hall erupted in chaos as representatives realized the horrifying truth. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their military might or technological advancement. It was their ability to turn enemies into friends through sheer, relentless hospitality. Motion to classify humans as a Class S diplomatic hazard, Vexthana announced. All species are advised. Approach humans with extreme caution. They may offer you food and friendship, and resistance appears to be futile.